Welcome to the podcast, where a passion meets purpose and limits are challenged. I'm your host, Eleonora Gendelman. Let's start bending reality. This is part 2 of the episode on the power of consistency. If you haven't listened to the previous episode, listen to the episode number 76 before continuing with this one. From here on, we will explore how to break free from the patterns of our past, how to tap in the quantum field of infinite possibilities, and how to implement practical steps to forge unbreakable consistency. Every moment is an opportunity to rewire your brain. Every consistent thought, every consistent action is a step towards becoming the person you are meant to be. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but it's the consistent steps that follow that will lead you to your destination. Are you ready to take those steps? Are you ready to harness the power of your brain and become the architect of your own destiny? Now that we understand the neuroscience of consistency, let's talk about one of the most challenging aspects of personal transformation: breaking free from our past. Who am I really? Am I the sum of my past experiences, or am I something more? Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself. What do you see? Is it the person you were yesterday, last week, last year? Or is it the person you aspire to be? The truth is, most of us are living in the shadow of our past, trapped by old habits, beliefs, and patterns that no longer serve us. But here's a revolutionary thought. You are not your past. You are not your habits. You're not your beliefs. These are simply programs running in the hardware of your brain. And like any program, they can be rewritten. Think about it. How many times have you tried to change only to fall back into old patterns? It's as if there's an invisible force pulling you back to your comfort zone, back to the familiar, even when the familiar is painful or limiting. This force is what we call our past self, the accumulation of all our past thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Our past self is like a well-worn path, and that neural force we talked about earlier is comfortable. Your past self is like a well-worn path. And that neural force we talked about earlier is comfortable. It's familiar. And our brain loves it because it's efficient. But what if that path is leading us in circles, never allowing us to reach our true potential? Breaking free from our past self isn't about rejecting who we've been. It's about consciously choosing who we want to become. It's about recognizing that every moment is an opportunity for reinvention, for growth, for transformation. But how do we do this? How do we break free from the gravitational pull of our past selves? The first step is awareness. You need to become aware of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Most of us go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations based on past programming. But true change begins with consciousness. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice the patterns, the recurring themes, certain beliefs that keep popping up. Beliefs about who you are, what you're capable of, what you deserve. And these beliefs are not facts. They are simply thoughts that you have thought so many times that they have become habitual. Next, pay attention to your emotional responses. How do you react to challenges, to success, to failure? Your emotions are powerful creators of your reality. They influence your thoughts, your actions, and even your biology. By becoming aware of your emotional patterns, you gain the power to change them. Every time you think a familiar thought or feel a familiar emotion, you are reinforcing the neural pathways associated with your past self. You're literally becoming more of who you've always been. Remember what we learned about neuroplasticity. Our brain is constantly changing. It's not fixed. This means that your past self is not set in stone. It can be changed, rewired, transformed. The key to breaking free from our past selves lies in creating a clear vision of our future self. Who do you want to become? What thoughts would that person think? What emotions would they feel? How would they behave? This isn't just a mental exercise. When you vividly imagine your future self, you begin to create new neural pathways. You're literally laying the groundwork for transformation in your brain. Imagination alone isn't enough. You need to start living as your future self. This is where consistency comes in. Every time you choose to think, feel, or act as your future self would, you are strengthening those new neural pathways. You are literally becoming that new version of yourself. Let's make this practical. Say your past self is someone who procrastinates, who puts off important tasks until the last minute. Your future self, the person you want to become, is proactive and productive. How do you bridge that gap? You start small. Instead of trying to change your entire work ethic overnight, you begin by tackling one small task immediately. Maybe you spend just 5 minutes working on that project you've been putting off. It might not seem like much, but in that moment, you are not acting as your past self. You are embodying your future self. Each time you do this, it becomes a little easier. The neural pathway for proactive behavior gets a little stronger. The pathway for procrastination gets a little weaker. Over time, with consistency, being proactive becomes your normal. Breaking free from your past self isn't just about changing behaviors. It's about changing your entire identity. This is where many people struggle. They try to change their actions without changing their self-image. And inevitably, they snap back to their old ways. Your self-image, your identity, is one of the most powerful forces in your life. It's the story you tell yourself about who you are, and your brain will always try to act in alignment with the story. If you see yourself as a procrastinator, you'll find ways to procrastinate, even if you're trying not to. So, how do you change your identity? You start by changing your narrative. Instead of saying, I'm a procrastinator trying to be more productive, you say, I am a productive person even if it doesn't feel true at first. By consistently affirming this new identity, you begin to rewire your brain. The words alone aren't enough. You need to create experiences that reinforce this new identity. This is where the concept of identity-based habits comes in. Instead of focusing on the outcome you want, you focus on becoming the type of person who would naturally achieve that outcome. Want to be healthier? Instead of focusing on losing a certain amount of weight, focus on becoming the type of person who never misses a workout. Want to be more successful? Focus on becoming the type of person who consistently puts in the work, who is always learning and growing. By shifting your focus from outcomes to identity, you create lasting change. You're not just trying to do different things, you are becoming a different person. Breaking free from our past self isn't easy. Our old patterns, our old identity, they have a strong gravitational pull. There will be times when we slip back into old ways of thinking and behaving. This is normal. It's part of the process. The key is not to let these moments derail us. Remember, consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means getting back on track quickly. When you go off track, each time you get back, you are strengthening your resilience, your ability to bounce back, to realign with your future self. Another powerful tool in breaking free from our past self is environment. Design your environment, the people you surround yourself with, the places you spend time in, the information you consume. All of this shape your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors around you. Is your current environment supporting your growth, or is it keeping you in the past? Are the people in your life encouraging you to evolve, or are they expecting you to remain the same? Are the spaces you inhabit inspiring you to be your best self, or are they filled with reminders of who you used to be? By consciously designing your environment to support your future self, you make it easier to break free from your past patterns. This might mean seeking out new relationships, changing your physical spaces, or choosing the information you allow into your mind. Breaking free from your past self is not about rejecting who you have been. It's about honoring your journey while consciously choosing who you want to become. It's about recognizing that you are not a fixed entity, but a fluid, ever-evolving being with infinite potential. Your past self brought you to this moment. It got you through challenges that helped you survive. But now it's time to thrive. It's time to step into the fullness of who you can be. You are not confined in your past. You are not limited by who you have been. Every moment you have the power to choose who you want to become. And with consistency, with unwavering commitment to your future self, you can break free from the patterns of the past and step into a new reality of your own creation. Are you ready to let go of who you've been? Are you prepared to consistently embody your future self, to think, feel, and act as the person you aspire to be? Because that's where true transformation begins. That's where you start to tap into the quantum field of infinite possibilities, which is exactly what we'll explore next. As we step beyond the boundaries of our past selves, we enter a realm of infinite possibilities. Imagine for a moment that your life, your reality, is not fixed or predetermined. Imagine instead that you are surrounded by a field of pure potential, a quantum field where anything is possible. What if your consistent thoughts, emotions, and actions are not just changing your brain, but are actually influencing the very fabric of reality around you? This is where the world of neuroscience meets the quantum field, and it's here that the true power of consistency reveals itself. There is a principle known as the observer effect. It states that the act of observing a quantum system changes its behavior. In other words, consciousness influences reality at the most fundamental level. Now, let's extend this principle to our life. You are the observer of your reality. Your consistent thoughts, emotions, and actions are a form of observation. Think about that for a moment. Every time you choose to think, feel, or act in alignment with your future self, you're not just changing your brain. You are sending a signal to the quantum field. You are telling the universe, this is who I am now. And the universe responds. It is not enough to do it once or twice, or even 100 times. The quantum field responds to consistency. It is looking for patterns, for sustained signals. This is why sporadic efforts often fail to create lasting change. The quantum field needs a clear, consistent message to reshape your reality. Let's break this down into practical terms. Say you want to become a successful entrepreneur in quantum field. That reality already exists as a possibility. But how do you bring that possibility into your lived experience through consistent thought, emotion, and action? Start by consistently thinking like a successful entrepreneur. What thoughts would run through their mind? How would you approach problems? How would you view opportunities? By consistently thinking in this way, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of success. Next, generate the emotions of a successful entrepreneur. Feel the excitement of closing a big deal, the satisfaction of building a thriving business, the confidence of leading a team. Emotion is the language of the body. And then you consistently feel these emotions. You are telling your body and the quantum field that this is your reality. Finally, take consistent action. Act as if you're already a successful entrepreneur. Make decisions from that mindset. Treat your current projects, no matter how small, with the same dedication you would if you were running a huge company. This trinity of consistent thought, emotion, and action creates a powerful resonance in the quantum field. It's like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. When you're in resonance with success, you start to attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with that frequency. Here's where many people go wrong. They try this for a day, a week, maybe even a month, and when they don't see immediate results, they give up. They switch frequencies, tuning into doubt, frustration, or resignation. And guess what? The quantum field responds to that too. This is why consistency is so important. The quantum field doesn't respond to intensity. It responds to consistency. It's not about making a big splash. It's about creating ripples that over time become waves of transformation. Think of it like planting a seed. As you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to check its progress. You trust in the unseen processes happening beneath the surface. You consistently water it, ensuring it gets sunlight, and over time, that seed grows into a plant. Your consistent thoughts, emotions, and actions are like water and sunlight to the seed of your future self. They nourish it, they encourage its growth, even when you can't see the results yet. There is a phenomenon known as quantum entanglement. It suggests that particles that have interacted with each other remain connected, instantly sharing their physical states regardless of distance. This principle can be extended to your thoughts and the reality around you. When you consistently think, feel, and act in alignment with your future self, you are becoming entangled with that reality. You're no longer separate from it. You are interconnected. This is why sometimes when you've been consistently focused on a goal, opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. It's not magic, it's quantum entanglement at work. Now, let's talk about the role of belief in this process. Your beliefs are like the soil in which the seed of your future self is planted. If the soil is fertile, if your beliefs support your vision, the seed will flourish. But if the soil is toxic, if your beliefs are limiting or contradictory to your goals, the seed will struggle to grow. This is why it's so crucial to examine your beliefs. What do you believe about yourself, about your capabilities, about what's possible for you? These beliefs aren't facts. They are programs running in your brain. And like any program, they can be updated. Consistency plays a vital role here too. By consistently challenging limiting beliefs and affirming empowering ones, you change the soil of your mind. You create an internal environment where the seed of your future self can thrive. But belief alone isn't enough. The quantum field responds to more than just thought. It responds to feeling. This is where the power of emotion comes into play. Emotion is energy in motion. It's a vibration that resonates with the quantum field. When you consistently generate the emotions of your future self, the joy, the excitement, the fulfillment, you're not just feeling good, you are emitting a frequency that attracts corresponding experiences. You're telling the quantum field, this is my reality now. This is why gratitude is such a powerful practice. When you feel grateful for something, you generate a positive emotion. And when you feel grateful for things you desire as if you already have them, you create a bridge between your current reality and your desired future in the quantum field. Because the quantum field doesn't distinguish between positive and negative emotions. It simply responds to what you consistently feel. If you consistently feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated, you'll attract experiences that match those emotions. This is why it's so important to be mindful of your emotional state and to consistently cultivate emotions that align with your desired reality. Now, let's talk about the role of action. While thoughts and emotions are powerful, they need to be coupled with consistent action to create lasting change in your physical reality. Think of your actions as a physical affirmation of your thoughts and emotions. They are a way of telling the quantum field, I am so committed to this new reality that I'm willing to act as if it's already true. But remember, it's not about taking massive action all at once. It's about consistent action over time. Small actions taken consistently can create massive shifts in your reality. It's like the compound effect we talked about earlier, but on a quantum level. Each consistent action you take creates a ripple in the quantum field. These ripples interact with each other, amplifying their effect over time. These amplified ripples can create waves of change in your life, attracting experiences and opportunities that align with your consistent thoughts, emotions, and actions. And here's the beautiful thing. We do not need to understand all the details of quantum physics to benefit from these principles. Like we don't know and understand yet how the universe works, but it does. Like humans didn't understand millions of years ago how the sunlight worked to benefit from it. We simply need to commit to consistency, commit to consistently thinking, feeling, and acting as our future selves, trusting in the process even when we can't see the results yet. In the quantum field, everything exists as potential. Your job is not to figure out how to make things happen. Your job is to consistently align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you want to experience. The how will unfold in ways you might never have imagined. We are not separate from the quantum field. We are an integral part of it. Your consistent thoughts, emotions, and actions are constantly interacting with this field, shaping your reality in every moment. Are you ready to harness this power? Are you prepared to consistently align your entire being with the reality you want to create? Because that's where true mastery lies. That's where you step into your role as the conscious creator of your life. Stay tuned for part 3 in the next episode. Thank you for choosing yourself, doing the work, and creating change. Keep living with purpose.